What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Tall Podcast, and we do not have time for a video. Must go live. Breaking news, DeVonta Smith, a.k.a. the Slim Reaper, Fast Batman, is extended through the year 2028. If you are excited and always knew that Howie Roseman was going to get it done, you were not scared, do your boy a favor and hit that like button. If you're watching on a rerun, you can still hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you're not watching on the rerun. You're here live with the 56 notification gang in the building. Only been live for 1 minute, about 60 people in here. Like I said, Eagles have paid another big-time rising player. This time, wide receiver DeVonta Smith gets a 3-year, $75 million contract extension that includes $51 million guaranteed, sources say. The deal was done at Kelt Crenshaw of Clutch Sports, and it keeps Smith in Philadelphia for years to come. Here's the thing I really want to bring up, though. The Eagles also included his 5th-year option. So the extension was a 3-year extension worth 75 big ones. However, let's look what my guy Ari M said, right? The Eagles and wide receiver DeVonta Smith have agreed to a 4-year type extension. It's really 4 years because it's through the season of 2028, worth $90.59 million extension. And this is why. Keeping him in Philadelphia through the 2028 season. Smith had a 5th-year option, which was worth $15.59, which is a 5th-year option that was picked up, and then another 3-year, $75 million extension added on to the top of that. So we do pick up the 5th-year option, which means in 2024, in 2024, Smitty will be getting paid $15.59 million. But in 25, 26, I lied. In 2025, he'll be getting paid $15.59 million. And then 26, 27, 28, he's going to have an annual amount of $25 million, just like A.J. Brown. So Smitty gets the same pay as wide receiver 1 because we've talked about it time and time again. The Eagles got wide receiver 1A and 1B. There's no wide receiver 2 in Philly. There's no wide receiver 2 in Philly. This dude shows up in the biggest moments. A.J. Brown couldn't play in the playoff game. Yes, we lost, but over 100 yards for Smitty. The first Super Bowl that we had a tandem of Jalen Hurts, DeVonta Smith, and A.J. Brown. We know Jalen Hurts threw for over 300 yards. Beast mode in the Super Bowl, did fumble. Eagles ultimately lose. But A.J. Brown ate in the Super Bowl, but so did Smitty. He showed up to the Super Bowl in sweatpants, and dropped over 100 yards. This is a Heisman-winning wide receiver, the first one to win the Heisman, who's not a running back, a quarterback in college, in over 2 decades. 2 decades, the last wide receiver to win the Heisman. They said he was too little coming in the NFL. He don't miss time. Shout out to DeVonta Smith for this extension. I think all Eagle fans right now are like this. This is what we doing. We hype. We extended Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Jake Elliott, Reed Blankenship, and DeVonta Smith while adding Saquon Barkley, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Devin White. We added additional playmakers on the defensive side and the offensive side while locking up the core. The best left guard in the game, Landon Dickerson. Left side, strong side. Where's Smitty lining up? Slot, left side, right side, motion. You could do it all with Smitty. I think we're all excited. Shout out to everybody in the building. Let's get it over 100 likes. We got over 334 people in the building. Let's get over 100 likes. Sorry for playing that again. Meant to hit the like button and subscribe. And again, turn on that notification bell so you're here with the notification gang. Greg said the best receiver in the league will be making $40 million a year in 3 years. Yes, let's take a look at this. Another big, just shout out to Howie Roseman, as y'all call him, as LB calls him, Ski Mask Howie. This is what the Eagles do. Philadelphia is proactive, recognizing that Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, T. Higgins, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and others are due for huge, I repeat, huge wide receiver contracts. They move quickly and secure a deal with DeVonta Smith before the market for receivers explode, and it will. Look at the names: Jefferson, Lamb, Chase, Ayuk, Higgins, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Before Smitty signed for 25 annually, we heard murmurs that Amon-Ra St. Brown was going to get 27 to 28. They only got one receiver in Detroit. Eagles got 2 wide receiver ones. Do not mistake it. Ricardo Phillips said the Slim Reaper. Let me see if I missed anything crazy. Shout out to Notification Gang and shout out to everybody in the chat. Drummer said, this is what I was waiting for, Mike. Let's go. Happy Monday. Eagles start OTAs today. Now, these are the OTAs, no football. It's mainly workouts. Let's get them benches in. Let's get them squats, them deadlifts. However, the players communicate, they talk, they meet with the coaches, they strategize. Now, these are voluntary OTAs. My guy just got paid. We don't got to worry about if he's showing up or not. He been putting in the work. We've seen multiple Eagles putting in work on the sidelines, on their own, I mean. Now is the voluntary OTAs. And again, it's just really workouts, but it's good to see who shows up. Now, if a key Eagle player is reported not at voluntary OTAs, don't get all crazy. Some people have obligations outside their jobs, whether it's kids, family, and they got to miss some. But the core people, the guys, the people with the C on their chest, which is DeVonta Smith, they will be there, front and center. I ain't worried about anybody with a C on their chest. Hurts, Smitty, AJ, they front and center. Joseph said he's a special player, well-deserved. I'm so glad he's on my team. Hey, so glad he's on my team. Hey, come to Philly Eagles. We make it rain. Go Birds. Shout out to you. Roderick's channel member in the building said we lit. Ryan Rose said let's go. B-Dub, let's go. Latif said big, skinny, got the bag. Yes, once again, let's take a look at it. So the Eagles, again, they optimize everything. They beat all the top receivers to market, pay him $25 million annually, the same as A.J. Brown. But the beautiful thing is we exercise the 5th-year option as well, which instead of a 3-year extension, it's really a 4-year extension all the way through 2028. So in 2025, he's going to get paid $15.59 million for his 5th-year option, which was picked up by the Eagles. And then we extended Slim Reaper, a.k.a. Skinny Batman, DeVonta Smith, the only Heisman winner in the last decade at the wide receiver position, for a 3-year deal worth $75 million, $25 annually, but he got 51 big ones guaranteed at signing. Chris said, congrats to Smitty, a dedicated player who does it right, always. This is, again, think about all the receivers that are going to, what do you think Justin Jefferson's going to get? He's going to force the Vikings' hand. That's 30 plus. CeeDee Lamb is talking about holding out. See, you got these top-notch receivers who, y'all want to talk about A.J. Brown and stuff. We got receivers holding out, and CeeDee Lamb, as my guy takes a team-friendly deal. Team-friendly. Prior to the $25 million annually, we heard murmurs of Amon-Ra St. Brown getting 28. Did DeVonta push for that? No. The dude has a championship heart. He's been winning football games for the longest time. He understands his bag is important for him and his family. He got a little one. Shout out to the Smitty family. Go ahead and splurge. But at the end of the day, he wants to win too. Got a heart of a champion. Dude showed up in the Super Bowl in sweats and dropped a buck on him. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the dub. Jared said, well deserved. Time to grab that jersey. I already got the Smitty jersey, and we might have to do. And like I said, shout out to the Eagles. They finally got that thing right where you can get the Saquon Barkley jersey with the new word mark, the new Eagles word mark, not the old one. Glad they got that straightened out. But at the end of the day, I think this is all Eagle fans right now. And a lot of people were like, yo, we extended Reed Blankenship. We extended all these people. Landon, Jordan, Jake. Where's the Smitty money? It was always coming. Again, I thought that his contract was more of a cross the T's, dot the I's, be on your P's and Q's and be sure. But Smitty really worked with us. I can't wait to see what the Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Jefferson contracts look like. And it doesn't matter if you think they're better than Smitty or not, or this, that, and the third. The Eagles got 2 wide receivers ones. T. Higgins ain't going to be able to sign with Jamar Chase. One of them is splitting up. Brennan Ewick is already on the way out because Deebo Samuels is there, right? The Philadelphia Eagles are the first organization ever to have 2 wide receivers paid $25 million. And you can say, well, that's not a great thing to be bragging about. It is, because we have 2 wide receiver ones and we were able to keep them. Oh, but you're not going to be able to do that when you pay Jalen Hurts. Lies. There were so many accusations of paying Jalen Hurts. Well, how are you going to pay for a running back? Well, the Eagles paid the most money ever for a running back. How are you going to afford both wide receivers? Well, the Eagles got 2 $25 million wide receivers. Sometimes you just got to just say this. Cap space is fake. It's fake. It's not real. Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny, Bigfoot. Salary cap. It's a myth. There's numbers there. They say you got to do this, that, and the third. But I don't believe it. You pay Jalen Hurts, you're not going to be able to pay your receivers. Did it. You're not going to be able to pay your O-line. Did it. The Eagles always pay running backs penny to the dollar. Not this year. Saquon, take the biggest deal of any running back in 2024. Here, take that. You got to love it. 3-year extension. Smitty shows up in the biggest games. Stu Vision been a member for 15 months. He said no games, all business. Now let's get that ring. That's what we got to get. Like, look, at the end of the day, Eagles making all these moves for one of these bad boys. We making these moves for this bad boy. Simple. These moves are trying, it's all for this. It's all for this. Need number 2. Kyle said, Philly, it's not the money, it's the cap hits. You're right. And listen, I'm joking. Salary cap is real. It is real. I just like to play because when you got a guy like Howie Roseman, do I care what the salary cap is? Do I care? No, because he's taking care of it. The Eagles lost their assistant to Howie Roseman. I forgot his name, but he left because he wants to get an opportunity to be a GM. People were saying that he was crucial in some of these big-time contracts, making a cap hit low, this, that, and the third. Well, I mean, I see no difference. Howie Roseman is Howie Roseman. And there was never a scenario where he wasn't going to pay Smitty. There was never a scenario where he wasn't going to pay Smitty. Mir Slime said, I'm not happy. All this waiting to give him a 3-year deal. I need a 5-year deal. It's a 3-year deal, but it's a real 4-year deal because we also gave him we included the 5th-year option. So that's Howie Roseman and DeVonta Smith come into a beautiful understanding. Again, the Eagles and wide receiver DeVonta Smith really agreed to a 4-year, $90.59 million extension, keeping him in Philadelphia through the 2028 season. 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028. He's going to be here for a while. for a while. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Because he's still on a rookie deal for 2024. His fifth-year option next year, not 2024, 2025, he will be paid $15.59 million. And then in 26, 27, 28 is when he'll get that annually $25 million for the 3-year extension. So, yeah, it's only a 3-year extension on top of his fifth-year option, but the dude's going to be here till 2028. I'm with it. Philly Kellen said they're going to extend Brown too after this year. Hey, if it's in the means of the Philadelphia Eagles, why not? Again, there's still some people thinking that the Eagles should draft a wide receiver at 22 and or at 50 or 53. The saying is this. I heard Ed Kratz and Elliot Shorr-Parks say this. If the Eagles are on the clock at 22 and the best player on the board is a wide receiver, do not go to a position you need just because draft a wide receiver. He could be wide receiver 3. He's cheap and blah, 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 blah. Look, I'm not going to be mad at sharpening a strength, but I still think there's going to be better players and or as good players on the board at 22 where you don't need to go receiver. Again, you got 2 of the top guys in the game. Wide receiver 1, wide receiver 1A, 1A, 1B. I do like Paris Campbell as a third guy, a speed guy, stretching the field. Don't forget Dallas Goedert. And here's another thing. Targets normally matter. Like players, and I'm not saying Smitty would ever be a guy who complains because he just doesn't seem like that dude. But people who don't have their bag, people who are not paid are normally the ones to complain. I got to get my target so when my time is up, I can say I'm worth this, that, and the third. Think about this. Dallas Goedert, under contract. Saquon Barkley, under contract. Smitty, under contract. AJ, under contract. These are all guys who are under contract for the next 2, 3, 4 years. These are our skill positions. So if Saquon don't get the ball, or Smitty don't get the ball, or AJ or Dallas, but we're winning 35-20, I think these guys are all going to be chill, relax. Again, I love the new culture that's being implemented. Everybody has voluntary OTAs, but last year the Eagles were one of the last teams to implement the voluntary OTAs. We didn't have a voluntary OTA. The first one was April 24th. Today is April 15th, and we're one of the first teams to do it because we not coming late to dinner no more. See, I could see the scenario where the Eagles went to the Super Bowl in 2022 with late voluntary OTAs, no early June mandatory practices, skipping out on practices under an hour. Like the Eagles took some time off during practice, during the week, during OTAs, during camp. We did take time off, and that was supposedly for players' health. It was cool. 22, it worked. 2023, it didn't really work. So we're changing it up. We're not going to be super hardcore, but the voluntary OTA schedule's moved up. There is some mandatory camps in June. You got guys working out together more often. You got Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio in the building early, meeting and greeting with CJ and Saquon and Devin White and all the new players we got. And just think about the additions plus the extendees. Howie Roseman has been busy. High Domination LLC, what's going on with you, my guy? Reese Scott, what's up? He said, now we going to defense. Now watch out. Safety incoming. Hey, I'll take one. Z said, nah, I think Worthy will be different than Hollywood. Could be the next D-Jax or Hill. Xavier Worthy, a possible option for the Eagles due to some of these beat writers and draft analysts saying that the Eagles could go wide receiver. I've been hearing more wide receiver talk as of late. Whether it's smoke screens or not, the wide receiver talk is starting to heat up in Philadelphia earlier than I thought. Joe Santos said we just need some 3 and outs and some drives and and field goals for our DC, for our BC. We have two superstars on offense. Listen, I'm not worried about the offense scoring 40. The offense has the power to score 40 per game. Now, doesn't mean we'll score 40 every single game, no, but we should be up there in points per game. Now, if we are successfully running the ball, the defense has more time to relax. The defense is still the big question mark for me. However, just because it's a question mark right now in April, don't mean it's going to be a question mark in September or in August. And even if it is a question mark, there's good answers to the end of questions. We could be a question mark that turns into, whoa, this is real good. And I do believe that it starts with the culture, it starts with the DC, it starts with the general manager bringing in CJ, Devin White, looking at the offense and saying, what is the only hole on offense? Running back. Get me Saquon. Extending the left side of your offensive line, you're the best kicker in the league, and then extending DeVonta Smith. And again, it's such a team-friendly extension because we added on the fifth-year option. Man, talk about a wide receiver who has the skill set that he can go anywhere and be a wide receiver one. But to work with the team in the way he did, DeVonta Smith is a true gem. Candace said we should draft Kool-Aid. We did bring Kool-Aid in for an interview. Top 30 visit just the other day. Reported that 2 days ago if you missed that video. Zach said, I feel like we're going to go defense first round this year. Hey, that's a true possibility, whether it's Kool-Aid McKinstry, whether it's Cooper DeJean, whether it's, again, I know a lot of people still like Edgerrin Cooper. I see him more of an early second-round pick. Maybe we got to come up a little bit from 50, but something along them lines. J62 said Reed got extended. That's another one. Reed Blankenship. And that was a beautiful extension when you look at the money that was paid to him and the guarantees only if he plays above the contract. For him to get that extra money, he got to play Pro Bowl level safety. And if he's playing Pro Bowl level safety at the numbers that we're paying him, that is a steal and a half. High Domination said Howie is the GOAT of all GMs. I'm telling you, you couldn't drew up a better offseason than this because you went out and got a couple big names in Saquon, CJ, and Devin White. You added depth with Zach Bond, Oren Burks. You go out there and get guys like Paris Campbell, Devontae Parker to compete at a position that is still semi-important. Then you go out there and solidify your offense and solidify some of your young guys. Extending Reed, Landon, Jake Elliott, Jordan Mailata. And he's the last big extension, but the real Eagle fans, we were never, listen, I gotta know. I gotta check the temperature. Did you ever? Let me know in the comment section. There's over 500 people in here. Let's hit that like button for the big extension of DeVonta Smith. 3 years, including the fifth-year option, $75 million for the 3-year extension. That's $25 million annually, $51 million guarantee at signing. And this man is now going to be paid in 26, 27, 28, the same amount as A.J. Brown, pending an extension there. We beat all the other big wide receivers to the market. Like I said, Howie Roseman, one of the best, if not the best, ever at GM when it comes to contracts. Now, some people can say the drafting hasn't been blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. But, man, hit that like if you're excited about what the Eagles did. And also, if you got that notification bell hit, then you won't come in 24 minutes late. You can hear from the beginning if you got that notification bell hit. Trey, what's going on? Joe Santos said, I always consider Saquon an Eagle. Listen, I don't even think we realize how good Saquon's going to be in this offense when you talk about the wide receivers that he has to alleviate pressure off him. He's never had, listen, go back and look at the Giants rosters. There was no one over there. Drew said, hey, Mike, how are we looking with the cap space now? The last I seen, the cap space was still over $30 million. And a move like this shouldn't affect the cap in 2024. I'm not a cap guru, but everything that was said leading up to the DeVonta Smith extension was, if you extend DeVonta, no matter what the extension is for, in 2024, the cap space goes up $1 million. That was my thought process and what was being said and reported the whole time. So if we had 30 mil, you extend DeVonta Smith, the Eagles could have 31 million right now still. And Justin Simmons continues to sit on the shelf. Right now, it's C.J. Garner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship, and Sidney Brown, pending we draft a Cooper DeJean, Cooper DG, or however you say his name. I know some people get mad at me for saying his name like that. Justin Simmons continues to sit on the shelf. And if he's still on the shelf post-draft, I mean, how he gonna go get him? It is what it is. Fitness Warrior in the building. What's going on with you, my guy? Channel member, but he don't got a wrench. I got to get my guy a wrench. No way you could be a channel member and not have a wrench. 40 said, Smitty eyeing that. Yeah. Go ahead and get Smitty need to go out and splurge. Splurge. I want to know what Smitty's first purchase is. You know what I mean? The dude just got 51 million guaranteed at signing. Go ahead, Smitty. Do what you got to do. Drew said Howie's the GOAT. I'm with you on that. J62 Moon said hit that like button for your boy. You already know. Zach said Simmons is next. He's sitting on the shelf waiting. We all said about being patient. Smitty under contract. Joseph said trade 22 and 50, a future third up to 10 and grab Turner. Move up in the second to grab 53 and a future 4 for Cooper. Sheesh, my man is playing shoots and ladders, trading up and down, up and down. Donnie Ford said, Philly Mike, we getting Dijon soon. This is the guy who can play cornerback and safety. Is he more of a safety at the NFL level? Corner? I don't know. But the dude is a football player, and if you have a DC like Fangio, well, then anything is possible with Cooper DeJean. I think he'll fit in. I think that's a real chess piece for a guy like Fangio. Daquan Barkley said Smitty probably getting a supply of diapers and baby stuff. Yeah, bring in the big. Listen, Philly Mike got 3 kids. I know DeVonta Smith has one too. They expensive. Shout out to Daquan Barkley. Go ahead and get your kid. Get your kid right for sure, Smitty. Tone Chosen said this is a great day to be an Eagle fan. Now go get Justin Simmons. I'm with you on that. Smitty, like I said, he shows up in the biggest moments of an NFL season multiple times. Playoffs last year, no A.J. Brown. He goes over 100. Yes, we lost, but still Smitty showed up for sure, even though they were double teaming and bracketing him. You look at what he did in his first Super Bowl appearance, walked up with the sweatpants, dropped over 100 piece there too. So did A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown balled out. I don't think he got over 100. I think it was only Smitty, but at the end of the day, this trio of DeVonta Smith, A.J. Brown, and Jalen Hurts is just going to continue to grow through the years, and I can't wait to see more and more and more of this offense with the addition of Saquon Barkley, securing the left side of the offensive line. My goodness, 40 points. We dropping 40 in Brazil. Jordan Love, if the Packers want to beat the Eagles, they got to score 43. If you want to beat the Eagles week 1 in Brazil, you got to score 43 because the Eagles are dropping a 40 burger week 1. J. Smack Johnson said, please, no DeJean. He's not a DeJean fan. King Diego in the building. Mike, I want us to draft Keon Coleman out of Florida State. Great wide receiver 3 in the later rounds. I do like him. When I was watching the film for Johnny Wilson, the big 6'7" wide receiver who the Eagles did bring in for a top 30 visit, when I was watching Johnny Wilson, Keon Coleman was jumping off the film. Alicia Green said, best trio in the league. Sign me up for that. Best trio in the league. And if you want to call it quadruplets, you add Saquon Barkley to that. 2 wide receiver ones, a quarterback that's always in the top 10, and then you have a top 3 running back. I mean, that is a fantastic quadruplet thing. I'm awake. Are you? Said injuries happen. Get that money. Yes. Once again, shout out to Smitty. And again, I really do believe. Let me know if you agree with me. This is a team-friendly deal. You're talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, all looking for 27, 28, 30, 31. CeeDee Lamb is talking about holding out. Smitty, quiet, includes the 5th-year option, which we will only pay him $15.59 million in 2025, and then he signs for a 3-year extension on top of the 5th-year option for $75 million, including 51 guaranteed. Shout out to my guy, John Kate 0218 with the first super chat of the day. John C with the $5 banger. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support, my guy. Here we go. Smitty got that big boy bag. How long A.J. Brown going to stay now, though? I don't see it being a problem. $25 million for one wide receiver 1A, $25 million for wide receiver 1B. They're both wide receiver ones. They've both shown up different times at the same time in big moments of the NFL season. And I look at it like this. AJ signed a 4-year, $100 million contract, and he's on year 3. We got AJ for 2 more years. Now his cap hit, and this year is whatever. It's not that big. It's going to be huge in 2025. So I believe between during the season or the end of 2024, if AJ Brown is going to continue being a Philadelphia Eagle, an extension would be in the works. Now, we got to wait and see. By that time, will the Jamar Chases, CeeDee Lambs, and the Justin Jeffersons of the world be making 35, 32, 31 mil? Where does AJ fit in that category? That's all wait and see. You know, the NFL changes year by year. Year by year, the cap goes up for teams to spend, if you believe in the cap. And also the price tag of these players go up. Things change. So I'm on a wait-and-see basis. But right now, for the season of 2024, you're going to have a happy A.J. Brown, a happy DeVonta Smith, a super happy Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts still chilling off his contract. The left side of the offensive line is paid. The best kicker in the NFL is paid. You brought in guys like C.J. Gardner-Johnson for 3 years. Devin White is trying to prove it. Man, these Eagle players are going to be happy and be under new management. Kellen Moore on the offensive side of the ball. Vic Fangio on the defensive side of the ball. Quintuplets, my guy Trey979 said, don't forget Dallas Goedert, a top 5 tight end in the game. Yes, we cannot forget him. But shout out to my guy John C with the $5 banger. He said, once again, here we go. Smitty got that big boy bag. How long A.J. Brown going to stay, though, now? I don't think it's going to be a problem. Again, if you look at A.J. Brown's relationship with Slim Reaper, a.k.a. Skinny Batman, it's been nothing but love. Nothing but love. Nikki Cunningham said the cap savings for this year, $1,881,243. So, again, the Eagles woke up on a Monday with $30+ million in cap space still for the 2024 season with just the draft pending. That's only going to be maybe $5, maybe $9 million at the most. Don't quote me exactly. So there's still money to spend. Now, how he likes to go into the season, with some money up his sleeve in case there's an injury, in case this, that, and the third. Maybe a team that you thought was going to be good falls apart. They're sellers. Eagles are buyers. Trade deadline. We've done it many times. That being said, let this man, Justin Simmons, still be on the shelf post-draft, and things are going to get real spooky. Real spooky. So shout out to Nikki for letting me know the cap savings. So the Eagles got to have close to 31 mil. Kay Watkins said, stop sleeping on Keely Ringo. Sign Mekhi Becton and Jamal Adams and draft Chop Robinson. I'm not sleeping on Ringo. I think he's going to compete for wide receiver. I think he's going to compete for cornerback too. I think if James Bradbury doesn't live up to expectations, watch out for Isaiah Rodgers. Watch out for Keely Ringo as guys to jump in and take his job. Eagle fan said Smitty is cheap. Smitty took a team-friendly deal for sure. Gunny Mac said Johnny Wilson in the late rounds, then move Smitty and AJ in the slot with Wilson on the outside. Oh, can't be stopped. Wilson is a matchup nightmare. 6'7" with his footwork does look nice. Now, there is some concentration drops on his resume, but, it is what it is. Shout out to Gunny Mac with the $5 banger. My man's dropping in the muscle emoji, says boss. Let's celebrate the first ever super chat on a Philly Talk live stream for Gunny Mac. Appreciate the love and support, my guy. First one is much appreciated. John C. 218 with another super chat, a $2 banger. He said, whole old line, all Pro Bowlers. We need that chip, bro. You already know. Every single move Howie Roseman made is for another one of these. I want to hold two in my hand. Two, not one. Two, not one. The whole old line is legit. Now, who's going to play right guard for the Eagles? We still got to figure that out. Whether it's Tyler Steen, I don't think he's really all pro level quite yet. But yes, left tackle Jordan Mailata locked up for the long term. He's going to be an all. He's a Pro Bowl type guy. Landon Dickerson is definitely all pro. Cam Jurgens has played over 600 snaps in the NFL and has yet to record a penalty. That is fantastic. Now, he was playing right guard alongside of Kelsey and Lane, which probably made his job easier. Might be a little bit more difficult playing center. However, 600 snaps, 598, something around there, and he's yet to record a penalty. Drew said, pause, I must have said something. It is what it is. Sometimes I don't even hear myself. But I'm with you, John C. The Eagles offensive line, although it will be missing Jason Kelsey, I don't think it's going to be that big of a difference. And who knows? We're talking wide receiver. We're talking defensive end. Latu has a visit this week. Now, it was already reported that he's going to visit, but the visit is this week. And so who knows what he says to the Eagles and where he is amongst the other pass rushers due to his injury history. But he's scheduled to come through for an interview, a top 30 interview, and we'll see what happens. But offensive line can be on the table for the Philadelphia Eagles. There's tackles out there, there's guards out there, there's centers out there who all can move around. So, if you're not sure of what the Eagles are going to do at right guard, Tyler Steen is probably the most viable option at this time. He'll be playing in between Jurgens, who now has a couple years experience, and Lane Johnson. I was high on Tyler Steen coming out of Alabama. But, like I said, there's three guys. Troy Fontanu, he's a left tackle. However, people think he can move around, and they think he should start at guard for his transition to the NFL. We'll see. Daquan Barkley said, wait, so we're just putting Steen on the bench off the rip? I'm not putting Steen on the bench. I think right now Steen is the possible starter at right guard. Matt Hennessy's here too. We're not gonna forget him, but I don't know where he ranks. I think it's a good competition between Hennessy and Steen at the moment. Isaiah said, This is why you don't pay Reddick." Um, Again, I think if you paid Reddick, you still would have had the money to extend Smitty. It could have got a little weird, possibly in the latter years, 26, 27, when things start to cross over each other. All that being said, did the Jets ever pay Hassan Reddick? So I know they traded for Hassan Reddick, but did they ever extend him? I don't even know what Hassan Reddick's getting paid at this moment. Andre said it's no Diddy, not Paul's anymore. How you feel about Cooper DeJean? I like his versatility. I think the Cooper DeJean hype is worthy of it growing. I don't even know if he'll be there. I think maybe he gets picked up around 16. We'll see. Drew said, Mike, have you checked out Jarrett Verse? He's a monster. That's the defensive end I want. I started looking at him because a lot of people keep hitting me up about him. I started looking at him. I haven't done my full due diligence, just highlights, but I like to look at film because I want to see their bad games as much as their good games to see how it correlates. But I will continue to do my due diligence on Jarrett Verse. I think defensive end is still important and it's still on the Eagles' radar. Whether you look at this, again, a secondary member has to join the Eagles via draft. We need a secondary member. We need a defensive lineman. We need a linebacker. Some people want wide receiver. Some people want offensive line. Cool. I'm cool with offensive line. But when you got Jeff Stoutland, I don't think it needs to be that early unless they're legit. But I still think a linebacker, a secondary member, and a defensive lineman all have to be a part of this draft class. Marty G said, please, y'all stop watching Dan Silio. Hey, it is what it is. J Smack said the only reason Steen didn't start last year because they went Jurgen sit on the bench for 2 years. Yes, it was Jurgen's time. He was definitely more acclimated to the NFL via Stoutland, via the Eagles' offensive playbook. But Tyler Steen was highly touted via Jeff Stoutland, and he had some great tape at Alabama, a very versatile player who can play tackle as well as guard. So I'm all for Tyler Steen getting the right guard position. However, because you've went out and signed Matt Hennessy in free agency, who I agree with, Trey979, Hennessy has bad legs. However, I think I feel more comfortable if Tyler Steen beats out Hennessy, right? Like when a young player is given a spot, that's cool. But when he earns a spot, it just sounds better. BMX, Beak, aka Doc, said, who knows what Howie will do next? He could move up for Verse or just be on Bauer Hour. Hey, could you imagine if the Eagles trade up and draft Brock Bowers out of Georgia? I mean, probably one of the best tight end prospects in a while. You know, Kyle Pitts was up there, but Bowers, man, can he just ball out? I don't think it's feasible, but you really never know with Howie Roseman. Disrespectful 214 said Steen went to Bama just like Dickerson did. You're right. Isaiah said Reddick is overrated anyways. Sheesh. I'm awake. Or you said Steen will back up Mulata and Dickerson. I thought he plays. We'll see. Joe M said if I'm Howie and I'm at 22, I'm grabbing the best cornerback left on the board. I believe that is the biggest weakness. I'm not mad if we go best cornerback on the board, whether it's Nate Wiggins at 22 out of Clemson or Kool-Aid McKinstry, Cooper DeJean. I ain't mad at it. Kyle said I like Latu Latu from UCLA. I love his film. I'm just worried about that injury history. But every time I talk about his injury history, I got to remind y'all that Landon Dickerson had a horrible college injury history. And the Eagles did their due diligence. And guess what? Bada bing, bada boom. The same people who were looking at Landon Dickerson's history with a fine-tooth comb has to be looking at Latu Latu's. And if we get a clean bill of health or the A-OK from our guys, then I'm not going to be using that as a crutch, like, dang, we drafted an injury guy because, hey, Landon Dickerson can never stay healthy in college. Now he's the best left guard in the NFL, and that's the only reason he fell to second round. Yonner said Reddick held it down, wish they would have kept him. I'm with you. Sports Live said if they get Brock Bowers, the NFL is going to want Howie executed. They're going to exile this man. They're going to start a petition that the Eagles got to get a new GM. It is it's crazy. Gunny Mac said tight end in the first rounds haven't panned out over the years. You right. You right. But second round tight ends do pan out. And I like a guy like Ben Sinnott out of Kansas State. And if you look at over the years, look at when they went from LJ Smith to Brent Selleck around the 28-year, 29-year-old. LJ Smith was about 28, 29. Boom, they draft Brent Selleck. Brent Selleck, 28, 29. Boom, they draft Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz, 28, 29. Boom, they draft Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert, 28, 29. Boom, could they draft their next one? So we definitely are always on early alert for a do-it-all tight end. Not saying we will, because the Eagles do have some holes in the roster that need to be filled. And I love, like, we just talk about number 22, and yes, that's the Eagles' first pick. But 50 and 53, we've talked about it. Look how good the Eagles have been in the second round. Zach Ertz, LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, Michael Kendricks, Landon Dickerson, Vinny Curry, just ballers in the second round, and we got 2 of them picks. We need 10 more likes to get to 300 likes. Also, subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell so you don't just be scrolling through your feed and say, oh, Philly Mike Live. Click on it. Dang, he about to get off. It's 47 minutes deep. You get that ding like a text message, whether I go live, because sometimes I'll go live at night, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the evening. And we drop videos different times in a day, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the evening. It depends on the schedule. But shout out to everybody. Again, I don't really go live at 11:40, but breaking news, Smitty signs a 3-year, $75 million contract while continuing the 5th-year option, or opting in for the 5th-year option. Smitty under contract through 2028, 4 years in total. 15.59 mil is the 5th-year option in 2025. Then 2026, 27, 28 starts the 3-year, $75 million deal, $51 million guaranteed. That is an annual rate of 25 mil. So both A.J. Brown and Smitty make the same amount of money, because as we always talk about, there's no wide receiver 2 on the Eagles. It's wide receiver 1A, 1B, Dallas Goedert, and then the rest of the crew. And listen, Saquon's going to be catching footballs as well. Shout out to everybody in the building. Kyle said second round. Sports Live said the Eagles going to fleece the Titans again. I'm ready. I'm down for that. Fitness Roofer said CB1 with the first pick or a premium edge rusher. I'm with you. 21st Century Paul said, love the Eagles, love the podcast, new sub. Hey, shout out to you, bro. Much respect. 303 likes on the live stream. Y'all the real deal, Holyfield. Anthony C getting up in here. Yes, sir. They said it couldn't be done. The add-ons that Howie Roseman brought to the Eagles while locking down the Eagles core players, left side, strong side, Smitty, Reed Blankenship, Jake Elliott, like the extensions. Plus, we still got $30 million in cap space. You extend all the people that needed to be extended and some more. Plus, you bring in big names in C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Devin White, and Saquon Barkley. Reggie said, so if Gronk was drafted in the first round, he would have stunk. No. I don't think what he was saying is that if you're automatically drafted in the first round, you stink. However, there hasn't been a lot of success. Like the first round tight ends haven't been the big time ones. Antonio Holmes said 304 was me. I'm here at the doctor's appointment. Hey, shout out to you. Hopefully everything's all good. Carter K said the news out of Philly is that Edgerrin Cooper is pretty much a lock if he's still there in the second or third. I'm with you. I think it would be a mistake if Edgerrin Cooper is there and the Eagles don't pick him with the 50th or 53rd overall pick. If you come out, listen, could you imagine the Eagles getting a corner? All right, let's just say we draft Kool-Aid. You draft Kool-Aid in the first round. You draft Edgerrin Cooper. Shoot, for all the wide receiver people, you can go wide receiver then. Can you imagine that? I'm not a big proponent of going for a wide receiver with the second either. But if you can come out with Kool-Aid McKinstry, Edgerrin Cooper, and let's just say, shoot, the safety for the Georgia Bulldogs, Boulevard. I forgot how you say his name. Sign me up. Corner, safety, linebacker. But what about O-line and receiver? Man, that defense just got bolstered. I'm all for that. Eagles Guru said, let's go Birds. Had to check in, lunch break and soon, y'all. Have a blessed day. Hey, shout out to everybody who's enjoying their lunch break, everybody who's at work grinding. Hope y'all have a blessed and active day for sure. Anthony said, I'm telling you, Latu and Edgerrin Cooper would be an A+ draft. Hey, Latu at 22, Edgerrin Cooper at 50, and then you go get maybe a corner in the early second. I don't know who would be left on the board. Javon Bullard. I like him. I like him. I know maybe you don't want to go back to the Georgia Bulldog well, but I like him. Dan Cilio said they can't afford it. Afford what? I mean, the proof is in the pudding. You extend multiple Eagle good core players while, again, there's no team in history that has had two 25 million plus wide receivers. The Philadelphia Eagles are the first team in NFL history to have two wide receivers making 25 mil per year annually. First one. While they have a quarterback making top 7 money. While this same organization who never pays running backs paid a running back as much as any other running back in the NFL. We got one of the highest paid running backs, two $25 million receivers, a $250 million quarterback, but they said it couldn't be done.
Shame.
They said, if you pay Jalen Hurts, you can't pay more. If you pay Jalen Hurts, you can't pay Smitty and AJ. And this was before we decided to give 30+ mil to a running back. They said it couldn't be done.
Shame.
Just because the Titans GM can't do it, or the Bears GM can't do it, or the Cowboys GM, or the Packers, you don't know who. This is how we do it. I mean, I don't know what else to say, dog. I don't know what else to say. The Eagles haven't paid a running back since LaShawn McCoy. Did it this year while paying their quarterback, while paying both their wide receivers, while paying top dollar for the left side. Jordan Mailata, top 5 money. Landon Dickerson, top 1 money. Top 7 at the quarterback. Top 7 at the wide receiver. Like, what do we do? I mean, it is what it is. Brendan said, sheesh, I need Howie to help me manage my finances. Shh. Yo, I need to refinance my mortgage. How you got me? Shh. My mortgage be like $600 a month. I don't know how, but Howie Roseman. Knight Rider said all we need now is a gadget dude like Luke M. or the kid from Western Kentucky, and we back to the NFC Championship. Real talk. I mean, I hear you with the gadget guy, but I think right now this offense is already putting up 40 points per game. Can I get a defense that can get a stop? Can I have a defense that can get a sack? Can I get a defense that can get a turnover? And don't be surprised if Jalen Carter ain't closing in on double-digit sacks in 2024. R. Snyder said, imagine we trade our first-round pick. I mean, depending on what we trade for, I ain't. Listen, Howie Roseman has traded up 4 of the last 5 drafts. Think about it. It's a trend. We traded up for Jalen Carter, traded up for Smitty, traded up for Jordan Davis. The last 5 drafts, Howie's traded up 4 times. In 2022, we didn't trade up. Well, we did, but we also traded a first-round pick for a baller at the wide receiver position. Shoot. The Broncos are talking about trading Patrick Surtain if it helps them get a quarterback. I don't know how pick 22 helps them get a quarterback, but if it does, woo! Now you're like, how can we pay Patrick Surtain? I don't know. I'm not Howie Roseman, but he knows. I'm awake. Are you? Said Bucky Irvin or Trey Benson, please. Trey979 said big money offense. Caton's mom said no cap for real, for real. Anthony said, I feel like Paris Campbell can be the gadget guy for us. I like him. Joe Santos said Paris Campbell is a gadget dude. Deebo Samuel, I'm telling you. Listen, Paris Campbell had some injuries last year with the Giants, but the previous last year, not last year, second year ago, he was a beautiful gadget type guy. Open up the middle, going down the seam. He's a wide receiver that you can run wide receiver screens with his speed and his agility. I was liking the film I've seen for Paris Campbell. And I'm with you, Joe Santo. Paris Campbell had no QBs his whole career. Matt Ryan at the tail end, Daniel Jones. Knock it off. Joe M said Broncos can't afford Bradbury's contract. Broncos have $85 million in dead cap due to Russell Wilson. Darius said you get some solid right guard play, and this offense is crazy work. And like I said, you got Matt Hennessy and Tyler Steen. Officially, as we sit here April 15th, Tyler Steen and Matt Hennessy will be competing for the right guard situation. However, who knows if we don't draft the right guard and or offensive lineman early in this draft. Again, everybody's looking right at the 22 overall pick, and I like it. It's our first one. But man, can the Eagles strike gold with 50 and 53. Reggie said 600 for mortgage would be crazy. Listen, I don't know, but Howie helped me out. Howie helped me out. Mark said Howie appears to be putting in all the chips for the next 2 year or two. Listen, we hear people go all in for 1 year. Howie's going all in for the next 2 to 3. 2 to 3 with the extensions. Antonio Holmes said no Bucky. Gadget guy, Aeneas Smith. Ain't that the receiver from where he from? I can't think of it right now. Brian Cooper said Bullard/Cooper in the second round. Listen, sign me up. 50 and 53, safety. You get a safety that's might push out Reed Blankenship, and you get the linebacker that's gonna push Nakobe Dean or push him out. Listen, if your linebacker room is looking like this, Devin White, Edrin Cooper, Nakobe Dean. Devin White, Edrin Cooper, Nakobe Dean, Okuwaru, and Zach Bond, and Owen Burks. Depth. Skill players. I like it. Texas A&M wide receiver A. Smith, who we did bring in for a top 30 visit. We did bring A. Smith in for a top 30 visit, so pay attention. If the Eagles do go wide receiver, it most likely will be with somebody they brought in a top 30 visit, for the simple fact that the Eagles really lean on them top 30 visits. Look at how we draft. Daquan said A. Smith from Texas A&M. I would like him. Tone Chosen said Broncos have the richest ownership they can. Richest ownership they can if they want to. I hear you. HA said, I knew that they were working to get DeVonta paid. They kept their business to themselves. Sometimes running your mouth is not a good thing. I'm with you. I'm with you. And again, I love the way this deal was fine-tuned because, again, the Eagles and wide receiver DeVonta Smith agree on a 4-year, it's really 4 years, due to the fact that we are including the 5th-year option. 90.59 extension, keeping him in Philadelphia through the 28-28 season. Smith had his $15.59 million 5th-year option picked up, and then another 3-year, $75 million deal added to that on top. And again, I think when you look at this contract compared to what you see CeeDee Lamb, who's talking about holding out for a contract, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle. When these people get 20, when Jalen Waddle and Amon-Ra St. Brown get 27-28, when CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase get 29-31, and when Justin Jefferson signs a $35 million deal, we're all going to be like, this is why you get to market first. Shout out to Howie Roseman. Shout out to the 352 people who hit that like button. Much love and respect. We got 514 people in the building. Breaking news. Howie Roseman extends every important Eagle this offseason. Hit the like button for the extension. Also, it helps out. Subscribe if you are new. And turn on that bell so you don't just scroll your way in here an hour into the live stream. You could be here with the 50 to 120 real deal Holyfield notification gangs. And like I said, shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate all your comments. Ken sent Quinyon Mitchell. Hey, we might have to trade up for him, but I do like him. Mr. Perez said, I think we should bring Boston Scott back as a kick returner. Off subject, I think that's important. I think with the new kickoff rules, I'm liking guys like Isaiah Rodgers, Paris Campbell, because the new kickoff rules are going to make you return the kick, but there's going to be less running impact. It's almost going to be like a quick little sweep run play. And so I think if you have an explosive guy back there, a la Paris Campbell, Isaiah Rodgers, Cooper DeJean if he's the draftee, Kool-Aid McKinstry if he's the draftee, there's going to be big-time returns in 2024 due to the new kickoff rules. I think it's like this. The kicker's at the 35-yard line. I think the punt, the kick coverage team is at the 35, and the defender and the kick, I don't know. The people who got to go make the tackles at the 35, the people who got to block is at the 30. So it's really no bang, bang. That's what they wanted to eliminate. The one player running 20 miles this way, other player running 20 miles this way. Boom! And so it should be interesting. B. Cooper said Latu, Cooper, Bullard is crazy. That's a crazy draft. If the injury history is good and you get Latu at 22, Bullard, the safety at 50, and Edgerrin Cooper at 53, all three levels of the defense with uno, dos, tres, D-line, linebacker, safety. All three levels adding a playmaker. Sheesh. Now you're talking Bryce Huff, Josh Sweat, Latu, Nolan Smith, BG. 5 deep. You're talking Edrin Cooper, Devin White, the Kobe Dean, Zach Bond, Okwara, Oren Burks. Pretty nice. Then you're talking safety, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship, Javon Bouliard, and Sidney Brown. Sheesh. Sign me up. Gerald said they need to extend Milton Williams. He's about to have a breakout season. I do think, given the microscope that's going to be on Jordan Davis, we talking about what Jordan Davis is going to do for us. Watch out for Milton Williams. You're right. That's one extension that a lot of people haven't been talking about, but we could use it. And watch out because the D tackle market is crazy high. DeBrickashaw Ferguson, no, not the bunker. Forrest DeBunker. I forgot what his name is. But the D tackle for the Colts, I think it's Forrest DeBunker. Yeah, let me know in the comment section or in the chat, guys. Y'all know y'all stuff. He just signed a 2-year, $46 million deal. The annual salary for a D tackle that is B plus or better is 20 mil. If you're a real good D tackle, it's like 28, 30. If you're a B plus D tackle, you're making 20 plus million. That's just the going rate. We put that in a video. If you missed the video, go back and check it. I said, I'm glad that we got Milton, Jordan Davis, and Jalen Carter all on rookie deals because the going rate for a B plus D tackle is 20 to 25 mil. We gonna have to deal with that sooner. DeForest Bunker, shout out to y'all. Trayvon, Roland, and oh shoot, DeForest Bunker is in the chat. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh no. Dot is his name. Yeah, DeForest. Forrest Bunker, but it is what it is. The D tackle position is getting paid. That's what really we need to talk about. Free 99 with the super chat, the biggest super chat of the day, the $10 super chat. Let's play that MVP for the biggest one of the day. Free 99 with the $10 super chat said, my man, 50 grand, always supporting BBP family from the background. You already know Free 99 been rocking with BBP, Philly Mike, Philly Fresh, Gate City, and a bunch of other great Eagle content creators for a minute. O-line specialist talks with Gate and BBP all the time. Shout out to Free 99 for the $10 banger. My man, 50 grand. And we need to get BBP back up, especially before the draft and during the draft. Looking for Sasuke in the building. Stall the bro out. He's not the best with the names. Hey, listen, you already know. DeForest Bunker. And like I said, just the D tackle room in general is getting paid. It's getting paid. Davy Boy with a $5 super chat. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. I hope they draft Latu or Verse in the first round. Verse, I think you got to move up a little bit. I started watching his film, and let's just say Verse is well-versed as it pertains to pass rush skill set. He got a lot of moves in his bag. Latu is a guy who I think can fall to the Eagles at 22 due to the injury history. But again, I need our best guys going over that injury history. Landon Dickerson, horrible college injury history. Didn't really rear its ugly head in the NFL. I need the same people to go over Latu's, but I do love his tape. Latu's tape is dangerous, and if we get him due to the history scaring some other guys off at 22, I ain't mad as long as we get the same guys who went over Landon Dickerson's injury history to go over Latu's. But shout out to Davy Boy with the $5 banger. Verse, I just started watching his tape because so many of y'all put me on to him, and he's a baller for sure. Nikki says, so basically Philly has locked down all their players and Dallas hasn't lifted a finger. That is pretty much the bottom line. We locked down our players and added playmakers. They didn't do nothing to their players. Dak, still need a contract. Micah, still need a contract. CD, still need a contract. So we added the Saquon Barkley, the CJ Gardner-Johnson, the Devin Whites of the world. They didn't. We locked up Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata, Jake Elliott, Reed Blankenship, and DeVonta Smith. And last time I heard, CeeDee Lamb has said he might hold out. Our guy got 25 mil. Take that. Third guy is talking about holding out. We not the same. 21st Century Paul said, why not bring back 2 running backs in the lineup to give another option for the passing and blocking in the run game? What's your thoughts on that? I love 22 personnel. I love Pony. Especially when we had the Miles Sanders, Kenny G, Swift, Kenny G. Now listen, Saquon is just in a tier of his own. That being said, I love Pony personnel because when you have the running back position, when you have both running backs in the backfield, that's just so much the linebacker has to account for before he goes to his responsibility. One, Jalen Hurts, RPO. Is he faking it to the left? Is he faking it to the right? Is the one running back blocking? Is the other one going out for a pass? Is the one blocking for the other one? Is one of them going to hit a screen? Like, there's so many options, and especially with Kenny G being a playmaker in the passing game. We haven't seen it much, but he was in Memphis, and we know Saquon can catch footballs out the backfield. I like Pony personnel. Now, I know a lot of y'all are upset with Kenny Gainwell, not a big fan of him, but I do love the set 22 personnel. I'm a big proponent. Listen, when you got wide receivers, I ain't mad going 11. 11 personnel, 1 tight end, 1 running back, 3 wide receivers. But I like when you have 2 good tight ends. CJ Ushmanjada. I said Ushmanjada. Uzoma on the squad. I like 12 personnel because you got AJ. If you're in 12 personnel and you run the ball, you'll probably be more successful. I like running from 12-man personnel, and I like suiting up in 12 play action with guys like A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith on the outside. I think under Kellen Moore, the way he utilizes tight ends, a 12-man personnel with T.J. Uzoma, Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith, Jalen Hurts under center, and Saquon back there, linebackers saying, what am I going to do? They got a great O-line. I can't hit the A and B gap because their O-line is legit. Goddard is a really good blocking tight end. You got the other tight end who can leak out and or block. Saquon is a man amongst boys himself to tackle. I can't drop my hip. What are the defense going to do? And if AJ Brown, if I can't talk right now. Every time I get past the hour mark, it gets a little fuzzy. But if Jalen Hurts keeps it, and then you got AJ on the post, Smitty on the comeback, sheesh. Alpha 43 said, "Can we sign CD?" That would be crazy. With all that being said, we got 435 people in the chat, 390 likes. Can we get 10 more likes before we get out of here? I would greatly appreciate it. Shout out to the realest of the real in here. And also, double check if you got that notification bell hit. If you don't, turn it on. If you do, but you didn't get notified, turn it off, back on. Let's see if we can get them 10 likes real quick, and then we're going to get up out of here. Once again, the Philadelphia Eagles have paid another big-time rising player. This time, DeVonta Smith gets a 3-year, $75 million contract extension that includes $51 million guaranteed. Sources say the deal was done by Clutch Sports, and it keeps Smith in Philly for years to come. But what I really, really like about it is it was a super good deal due to the fact that DeVonta Smith also allowed the Eagles to include the 5th-year option. So the Eagles pick up the 5th-year option. So in 2024, he's on a rookie deal. 2025, the option is picked up. So so Smitty calls 15.59 in 2025. Then in 2026, the 3-year, $75 million deal kicks in. That's $25 million annually for the next 3 years. So Smitty's playing 2024 Eagle Ball, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028. Do you know how many touchdowns he's going to have? Sheesh. With all that being said, I asked for 400 likes. Y'all got me to 410. I appreciate all the love and support. With that being said, until next time. Today was a live stream. Tomorrow will probably be a video. We gonna bounce and we gonna keep switching it up. Live stream video, live stream video, live stream video. Because I love doing both for y'all. I love your comments on the videos. And I love talking to y'all live in the chat. Until next time. Y'all know what time it is. We out.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's our life. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike.